earlier this week, tragic shooting in Nevada at a middle school. Sparks Middle School, a 12-year-old, as yet anonymous student walked into the school, shot and injured one of his schoolmates, then killed a math professor before injuring another one of his classmates and turning the gun on himself, killing himself. Now, we don't know his name. We know very few of the details about this case. It happened just earlier this week. But we do know one thing that might come out of this shooting, and for some, I think it's actually kind of controversial, and that is that because he's a 12-year-old, and he used a Ruger 9mm semi-automatic handgun that I have to imagine was not licensed to him. He must have gotten it from somewhere, and the most likely case in these sorts of shootings is that he got it from his parents or another relative or something like that. If that's the case, those parents might actually face criminal charges because Nevada is one of 27 states that does have a child access prevention or CAP law that provides some legal liability to the parents of an underage shooter who uses one of their guns.
So 50 states should have that type of law. It's crazy to think that a gun is that easily accessible to a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And you see, the part about this story that stands out to me the most is that these school shootings happen so often and they're so commonplace that we rarely even talk about it anymore. I mean, we obviously need to find a solution, and the worst part about this is every time we enter a debate about this issue, it's always about video games, mental health, gun control. No, don't discuss gun control. Don't discuss gun control. Like, people don't want to have a conversation about it, but we need to pass common sense laws to ensure that people do not have any access to guns. People who shouldn't have access to guns don't have access.
Yeah.
You don't even need, as the Brady Center says in the story, you don't even necessarily need that CAP law. That, you know, it's a fairly straightforward case of civil liability if a parent fails to secure a gun, that you could still find charges that work, but it makes it easier in those states with that law. And in some states, it's pretty stringent. They can impose liability when a child may or is likely to gain access to a gun, even if they never do. You'd have to find out about it in that case, but still, that gives prosecutors the tools to aggressively go after
it. California is one of those states.
Yeah, exactly. And in this case, we don't know that the parents probably, if the kid even got it from his parents, it was probably legally obtained, registered, and that's the thing. Like, even with gun control laws, there will be unfortunate violence, and so that's why we don't legislate based on anecdote. I mean, we talked earlier; it didn't make it in this hour, but a Congresswoman's rifle was taken out of her unlocked garage and was stolen. And so that would seem to indicate, well, look, I mean, even these safe, responsible gun owners, you can only be so responsible, and accidents will happen, so we need more gun control.
By the way, keeping a gun in an unlocked garage is not safe and responsible.
No, it's not at all.
Right.
Exactly. But you hear about people cleaning guns, accidentally shooting their kid. It happens all the time. On the other side, a guy was brandishing a rifle outside of a party, and a man who was legally concealed carry, he had a handgun, shot and stopped the guy. But that doesn't mean we need less gun control. These anecdotes are tragic in every case, interesting in most cases, but that's not how we legislate. We legislate based on the trend towards tons and tons of gun violence.
One name we do know in this story, and what happened was this kid showed up early in the morning at the school in Sparks, Nevada, and apparently, again, we'll know more about this, but the early reports had that this kid had been bullied himself extensively. Went up to either those kids or other kids and shot one kid, and then a teacher, whose name we do know, Mike Landsberry, a math teacher, incredibly bravely came outside and confronted the kid and just told him to put down the gun, and then the kid told the teacher to back up, and then he shot him and he killed him. So Mike Landsberry, incredibly brave guy.
Yeah, and that makes it all the more tragic.